Good day, everybody. This is Ying in California with Morsels of a Thought number 1403. Today we are reading from Marcus Aurelius, Meditations. And I'm a little farther away from the camera so I don't obscure you in your room, wherever you're watching from. And here we go. Marcus Aurelius Meditations, translated by Gregory Hayes, Hays. Number 7 in book 11. I want to straighten the camera out just a little bit. I think it's better this way. Uh-oh. Okay. Thank you. It stares you in the face. No role is so well suited to philosophy as the one you happen to be in right now. Number 8. A branch cut away from the branch beside it is simultaneously cut away from the whole tree. So, too, a human being separated from another is cut loose from the whole community. The branch is cut off by someone else, but people cut themselves off through hatred, through rejection, and don't realize that they're cutting themselves off from the whole civic enterprise. Except that we also have a gift given to us by Zeus, who founded this community of ours. We can reattach ourselves and become once more components of the whole. But if the rupture is too often repeated, it makes the severed part hard to reconnect and to restore. You can see the difference between the branch that's been there since the beginning, remaining on the tree and growing with it, and the one that's been cut off and grafted back. One trunk, two minds, as the gardeners put it. I want to say something about this one. Being cut off from the family is something that you can live through silence, but your silence will not protect you. Your silence will simply say, I accept what you have done. I accept you're cutting me off. I accept you're treating me as though I were not quite human as you are. But if you speak up and speak to each of the community, then separate, like Sun Tzu said in The Art of War in the book 2,000 years ago as well, said, divide and conquer. So if you speak to one that seems like he will or she will accept what you say, even if they don't bring you back into the community right away, you will slowly change the mind of at least one person. Hi, Chloe. Number 9, as you move forward in the logos, that's the universe, people will stand in your way. They can't keep you from doing what's healthy. Don't let them stop you from putting up with them either. Take care on both counts, not just sound judgments, solid actions, tolerance as well, for those who try to obstruct us or give us trouble in other ways. Because anger, too, is weakness, as much as breaking down and giving up the struggle. Both are deserters, the man who breaks and runs, and the one who lets himself be alienated from his fellow humans. This is why I have actually been to court in one case to reject the libel and slander from someone who made up a story about me. And the story was made up by his neighbor, and the neighbor made it up all by himself. And it was a slander on me, so I went to court, and I won the judgment. I didn't win any money, but I won the fact that the judge believed me. Number 10, the natural can never be inferior to the artificial. Art imitates nature, not the reverse. in which case that most highly developed and comprehensive nature itself with a capital N, cannot fall short of artifice in its craftsmanship. Now, all the arts move from lower goals to higher ones. Won't nature do the same? Hence justice, which is the source of all the other virtues. For how could we do what justice requires if we are distracted by things that don't matter, if we are naive, gullible, inconstant? You have to stick to your words. That was my saying, just that last sentence. Number 11, it's the pursuit of these things and your attempts to avoid them that leave you in such turmoil, and yet they aren't seeking you out. You are the one seeking them. Suspend judgment about them, and at once they will lie still, and you will be freed from fleeing and pursuing. In other words, don't think about them. Number 12, the soul as a sphere in equilibrium, not grasping at things beyond it or retreating forward, not fragmenting outward, not sinking back in itself, but ablaze with light and looking at the truth without and within. Somehow that reminds me of swimming exercises, because when you're in the water and your eyes are there, I don't know if you swim, but if you do happen to be a swimmer, and you have goggles on which protect your eyes and that you can see, when you're swimming, you're under the water and there is nothing in your head but to get to the goal, to the other side of the pool, or whatever you're swimming at if you're swimming the English Channel. Okay? Number 13, someone despises me? That's their problem. Mine not to do or say anything despicable. It's very tempting though, but don't say it, don't say it, don't say it. Someone hates me. Their problem. Mine to be patient and cheerful with everyone, including them, ready to show them their mistake, not spitefully or to show off my own self-control, but in an honest, upright way, like Phocion, if he wasn't just pretending. That's what we should be like inside, and never let the gods catch us feeling anger or resentment. As long as you do what's proper to your nature and accept what the world has and accept what the world's nature has in store, as long as you work for others' good by any and all means, what is there that can harm you? In other words, you can't be hurt if you simply don't feel resentment and anger. Number 14, and you can control that. Number 14, remember yesterday we were talking about mind work too, remember? Anyway, number 14, they flatter one another out of contempt, and their desire to rule one another makes them bow and scrape. Number 15, the despicable phoniness of people who say, listen, I'm going to level with you here. What does that mean? It shouldn't even need to be said. It should be obvious, written in block letters on your forehead. It should be audible in your voice, visible in your eyes, like a lover who looks into your face and takes in the whole story at a glance. A straightforward, honest person should be like someone who stinks when you're in the same room with him. You know it, but false straightforwardness is like a knife in the back. False friendship is the worst. Avoid it at all costs. If you're honest and straightforward and mean well, it should show in your eyes. It should be unmistakable. I have a neighbor. This neighbor trusts another neighbor without question, but the other neighbor slanders me behind my back. So I said to this neighbor, you have an enemy disguised as a best friend. This was something we read a while back. You have an enemy disguised as a friend. And he said, yeah, I do. However, he continues to treat this friend as though he were a friend because Sometimes he needs to borrow money from him. So whatever their relationship is, that's what it is. I don't care, except to say it here. Okay, number 16. To live a good life, we have the potential for it. If we can learn to be indifferent to what makes no difference, this is how we learn, by looking at each thing, both the parts and the whole, keeping in mind that none of them can dictate how we perceive it. They don't impose themselves on us, they hover before us, unmoving. It is we who generate the judgments, inscribing them on ourselves, and we don't have to. We could leave the page blank, and if a mark slips through, erase it instantly. Remember how brief the attentiveness required. Remember how brief is the attentiveness required, and then our lives will end. And why is it so hard when things go against you? If it's imposed by nature, accept it gladly and stop fighting it. And if not, work out what your own nature requires and aim at that, even if it brings you no glory. None of us is forbidden to pursue our own good. Good morning, listeners Cantara. I've just read 10 more paragraphs of segments of Book 11 by Marcus Aurelius in his Meditations, translated by Gregory Hayes, Hays. And we are talking about how if you are alienated from your friends or family or a community, you have to feel no resentment and no anger. You simply be your own person and be happy. You choose to not feel resentment, to not feel anger. And if somebody hates you, that's their problem. Don't say anything to win a statement. Don't say anything to win a short battle. Don't say anything despicable. Just be your own pleasant self and go your own way and leave them alone. And they will only live with their own hatred. So, well, I hate to end on this note. So what I'll say is that my car broke down the other day, and I had a friend. Anyway, it was a long, long, long story, and you are right. Yeah, be yourself. And I have heard another one that says the best offense is the best defense is living a good life. Best offense, best defense is to live a good life, while others do their own thing with their own resentments and arguments with you. However, in my particular case, I did win in court, go to court to protect myself from the slander and libel, because my reputation is pretty much what I love. And I fight when somebody tries to take away from what I love and try to ruin my life with a piece of slander or libel. So I do fight. So, I mean, what it is if they try to go convince other people, that's a whole other story from what we just read. So that's why I'm talking about it with you. So good morning, listeners Kantara. I'm so glad you are saying that you have had a good time recently and you are so, so busy. It is true. You get so, so busy when you supposedly have nothing to do, a job, a different 9 to 5 work week. It is so different and we are so busy. There are so many things to do. So anyway, I shall see you tomorrow for a rules day. And let me take a look if I have my. I couldn't read it up close with my glasses on. Okay, old Kinderhook.